Good afternoon, meteorologist Mike Prengley. A special shout out to our friends on the West Coast. Friends, heck, it's like family. It's like we're reunited. Hey, shout out to Whitney and Colleen, watching areas of Pinellas County. Boy, we've been hammered with some rain. I know we needed the rain. You know, all of our retention ponds were going way down, but boy, it all came at once. And we're not done with the big weather impacts from Tampa, Pinellas County, especially right along the coast, watching Manatee, Sarasota counties. And that extends really not just for the West Coast. That's going to be the highest risk, but we even have some big impacts here in Jacksonville, Florida, here in the First Coast. So let's go coast to coast here, a little special edition at 2 o'clock. And of course, I'm watching the new update here. Tropical Depression 2, just going over all the latest information here. Officially tropical depression at 11 a.m. this morning, and as of the 2 p.m. advisory, we still got that tropical depression. You see that big swarm of thunderstorms that became better organized overnight and this morning. And as you look at the latest here, well, we've got winds of 30 miles per hour. Okay, so for a tropical storm, you need winds of 39 miles per hour. Not quite there yet, but we will get there. In fact, you can see the latest track from the National Hurricane Center having this head off to the north-northwest and really start to pick up some intensity, all right? The big thing that sticks out to you, look how slow it's going to move over the next couple of days. So kind of crawling there right now, north-northwest movement at 1. So, yeah, we can outrun this thing at this point. And that's the big concern, especially for areas along the coastal counties and the west coast of Florida, Pinellas County, Pasco County. I'm not forgetting you either, okay, my friends up there. So watching that coast very closely, because there's going to be some areas before all said and done over the next couple of days that could see an additional 3 to 6 inches. So we've already had 3 to 6 inches in parts of the Tampa area along the coast. Could double that. All right, that's a serious situation. So another reason we've got the weather impact alerts going from the west coast of Florida to the northeast coast of here in Florida. All right, so we take a look at the track again. Models become very consistent here over the last couple of days. Very consistent having this move off to the west-northwest. The problem we'll have, especially for the west coast of Florida, the panhandle, that very slow movement. And what happens? Slow movement over that warm tropical water, not a good mix. Okay, so you see the official forecast for 50, 60 mile per hour winds by Tuesday night into Wednesday, but keep in mind we got the hurricane hunters flying in there this afternoon. We may have some better data that may show a different story where it could ramp up even more, okay, especially right along that shallow shelf that's very warm. And if it stays a little bit farther south, yeah, there could be some issues where this could be even stronger than a tropical storm. But we know Bertha is on the way as a tropical storm here over the next 12 to 24 hours. And then some models, some of the best models have it moving all the way to Texas. Some have it skimming the north coast, as you see, maybe 2 landfalls along the North Gulf Coast. And again, here at home from Tampa to Jacksonville, watching the flood risk and even some strong storms we can't rule out. All right, we're going to get to that. Okay, so here's the latest 1 p.m. advisory, 2 p.m. updated for 30 mile per hour winds, north-northwest movement at 3. Okay, so again, just no surprise here, 1,011 millibar pressure. So we're going to be watching that pressure closely here as we head into overnight tonight and tomorrow. And we're watching how this thing organizes, okay? Really ragged-looking system as we went into yesterday into last night, but starting to see better signs of circulation now, and that's why we've got the tropical depression. And those thunderstorms will start to organize around a center of low pressure. So we've already got the low pressure. Now it's just starting to breathe, starting to organize in a very low shear environment with some very warm water. Okay, let's take a look at our watches and warnings officially. From just right near the Big Bend of Florida, we've got a tropical storm watch. All right, and that extends all the way to Pensacola. And we're going to be watching that area. That'll likely be extended much farther west as we go into the next couple of days. Good news, okay, for our Tampa area, viewing area up here into the First Coast, we don't have any watches or warnings, okay? And we showed you the cone, but as we always talk about, yeah, our weather team tells you, yeah, we don't look at the cone, right? We don't think of it as a fixed point on a map because big impacts can go well outside the center, as we've already seen here in the Tampa area. So our tropical headlines: high chance of Bertha forming in the northern Gulf, okay? And we're going to take a look at that. First Coast stays on the eastern fringe of the system, so Jacksonville, southeast Georgia. Now, if you're up in southeast Georgia today, I think you're going to be dry. If you go south of I-10, And we're talking, oh gosh, as you go to the south side, Mandarin, back to Orange Park, Fleming Island, southward. That'll be our big band to watch for the rain, although that's not set in stone. You got to watch these things carefully. We want to see where that band sets up, and we're going to show you that coming up. And then on the west coast of Florida, higher impacts for Tampa and the Panhandle. Here's what I'm talking about, okay? So again, we've got the big picture here. We've got the big swirl in the Gulf there. You can see the low pressure. Isn't that interesting look? We got the counterclockwise flow, and these tropical systems are known for banding. Look at that. Let's pick them out together. We got one band moving through Orange County and Orlando. Second band now moving up into areas of Manatee County, and up in toward areas of Hernando County. Watching our friends in Crystal River, okay? And then as you get closer to the center, you see the banding becomes a little more intense. Okay, so for areas of Jacksonville here, we're going to see the outer bands affect us. Tampa, you're a little closer to that center, right? Okay, so that does make a difference. Every mile matters in these type of situations. Let's first zoom in toward areas of Sarasota. We're talking about Sarasota, back into Tampa. You look at, it's been a different world. You cross the Courtney Campbell Causeway, and you say, hey, where's the rain? You go to the east side of that, you're saying, okay, we can't buy a break. But it does look like finally Pinellas County with a little break in the rain right now, and that rain has shifted right over areas of the Courtney Campbell, and be extra safe on the bridges because that line could become a little more intense. Some lightning now breaking out even for Hillsborough County. So some of the areas that have said, where's my rain? Oh, we're getting the rain now. And unfortunately, that line could intensify with the heating as we head through the afternoon. And the second line to watch that's going to affect Northeast Florida is the one you see right through the center, the spine of the peninsula. That's going to rotate. They pinwheel around that area of center of low pressure. Isn't that interesting? So it does funny things. These aren't your typical showers and thunderstorms. And another reason we've got the weather impacts going here from the east coast to the west coast of Florida this afternoon. Okay, so first things first, Tampa. We know we were starting to see things light up, not just for Pinellas. Now Hillsborough County getting in that band of some strong storms. So the main threat all along, tropical downpours, okay? For the next couple of days, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. This does include going to work tomorrow morning. Dropping the kids off to summer camp could be an issue. If you're in Jacksonville, we're gonna push that weather impact alert more to the afternoon, like today. So tropical downpours, flood threat, and make sure you know there could be a couple of isolated gusty storms in those, especially if you get under one of those bands the next couple of days. So stream the latest forecast here. Of course, we've got First Coast News Plus going, and of course 10 Tampa Bay Plus. And we're going to be watching this. So if we look up toward Tarpon Springs, Newport Richey, watching areas of Pasco County, Tampa, hey, the model's doing pretty good. It's showing more of a shift in the rain, not just for the coastal areas, but as we finish out our Sunday, more for some inland areas that haven't seen the heaviest rain. All right, so we're going to be ready, Polk County, right? We're not letting our guard down. Hillsborough County, we're going to be watching things very carefully as well toward the state fairgrounds. We're going to see things really start to pick up along I-4 and the conjunction of misfortune, or conjunction function, as Jenny Dean calls it. She says it a lot better than me. Yes, just be careful on the roads. It's already busy here in Tampa, and then you're adding in these squall lines, and it could be some trouble. All right, so we got you covered there. And then we take a look at the biggest band still offshore as we head through the evening there, as we look at the heaviest bands. But again, there will be a band through Tampa, and that second band heading through Jacksonville as we head through late afternoon and early evening. Then it changed. We said, so if you're in Tampa, the weather impact alert kicks in first thing tomorrow morning. Here's why. We've got showers coming in after midnight. In Pinellas County, our break in the rain is over. Manatee County, we're getting in on some of that rain. Bradenton, you expect to wake up to some showers along with Sarasota and maybe some downpours. This is 5 a.m., so never good. You're trying to get ready for work. You really have to allow extra time, okay? One of those days, right? We'll wake up with the downpours. St. Pete Beach getting in on there with some heavy rain along with Apollo Beach. And as you look at the excessive rainfall outlook, it's going to be a big deal, not just for today, but tonight and tomorrow. Right now, the farther west you go, again, the better chance of getting under some of those downpours. So we've got Spring Hill, Tampa, Sarasota in that excessive rainfall outlook, all right? And that would indicate the higher chances, at least, of the flooding around the area. Let's zoom in now. Again, focusing in here first on the west coast with the bigger impacts, and you can see these are just averages. And this is the in-house model we have here. And if you look at Pinellas County, said the big concern is we've already had 3 to 6 inches. We have double that. And you can see already the model's starting to sniff that out. So Clearwater Beach, checking on my Aunt Joy. 4 inches on average, and that means there's going to be some spots of 5, 6 inches or more. We got to really be careful out there, right? And keep checking in. We'll keep streaming here. The farther inland go, it's still a big deal. You Lakeland, Mulberry, but as we know here in Florida, those are averages. So you get under one of those squall lines, especially today, tonight, or tomorrow. You can more than double that. That's what you need to get out of this. So these are conservative estimates here. Venice, you're going to see plenty of rain. Crystal River up to beautiful Brooksville. Okay, we're talking about areas of Hernando County there and Citrus County also getting in on this heaviest rain. But again, it looks like the brunt of it, the heaviest rain really for areas of Newport Richey, looking for Pasco County, and back into Pinellas County as we go into the rest of today, tonight, and tomorrow, at least for the heaviest rain. Now, we take a look at the Tampa 7-day forecast, and here it is. Weather impact alert will continue through 8 o'clock today, and then it kicks in first thing tomorrow morning. In fact, we're waking up tomorrow morning, and you're talking about some showers around. That's a big deal for Tampa with all the traffic. So we're going to have to that may be pushed up a little bit more. So make sure you tune in with Courtney tomorrow morning, and that 8 a.m. could really be pushed up there even more to maybe 4 or 5 a.m. with those wet roadways. And of course, Sarah has you covered there on the roadways. We take a look at the 90s. They'll be with us all week long. Tuesday, a day to watch, maybe another weather impact alert to start before Bertha, which will be called Bertha, starts to slowly move to the west and away from Tampa, and then we get ready for the heat. You see 94 there. Interesting. I think at least low to mid 90s behind this storm. And then what's interesting is next weekend we could see maybe a redevelopment of low pressure. Okay, so now that we got some rain that'll help our drought, now we've got one low pressure after another lining up. So see the little increase in rain for Tampa next Saturday. That'll be interesting to watch as we go into the 7-day forecast. Now, you ready to come back to the First Coast? Let's do it. All right, so we take a look. In fact, we got Katrino. He's got all the tower cams going. So Katrino, you see any big dark clouds? Go live. We go live. That's why we're streaming here live. So if you're in Palm Coast, St. Augustine, Palatka, Keystone Heights, Gainesville, all right, we've got to watch that line. There's going to be a band of some showers and storms filling in this afternoon, and it's going to pinwheel and swing around. So it's going to try to swipe up towards St. Augustine, Green Cove Springs, southern, western Duval. Really, it's the I-10 corridor and south that we're watching for the biggest chance of the rain. Okay, but that, again, needs to be watched. It's tough to actually place and really fine-tune that line. We're still watching it form. So just keep in mind, it's one of those days where we have our weather apps, and then we're watching exactly how things come together. But we do know there's going to be a nasty squall line for the First Coast. So that's why we're in a weather impact alert, officially 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's for today and tomorrow. For tropical downpours, we've got the flooding risk. Winds of 40 to 60. Now, I showed you that flood risk, that excessive flood risk. It's more for the west coast of Florida, right? But even here, we've had so much rain in spots, it won't take much to cause some localized flooding. And then I put the little tree there, down tree. Yeah, we could have maybe a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. Things have been trending a little later. Okay, so it's already 2 o'clock. You see the 2 to 8 o'clock time frame. Don't be surprised to see things really flare up 5, 6, 7 p.m. tonight. I'll be watching with you. All right, so we're staying weather aware. We're having an indoor backup plan, not just for Jacksonville, but all the way to Tampa. Let's take a look at the high-res futurecast. It's been doing a pretty good job. It's showing the couple of bands, one to the west coast, one trying to swing up into Jacksonville. Let's see some of the latest data. Is it going to fill in? There it is. So you see it really flares up Palatka, Palm Coast, St. Augustine. How far north will that band go? How far north along the beaches? You look at some of the latest data, and I can't even rule out some of the beaches getting in on some of that strong storm activity. But again, really, the I-95 corridor to I-75. That'll be the place to watch for some of the stronger storms this afternoon. And we did talk about, right, Pinellas County getting a little break, at least a little break, and we could use it as we finish out today. So there's your storm zone. That does a good job showing that there on the high-res futurecast. And, these models are great, but they're just a guide, okay? So we don't take them verbatim. But I do agree that things will settle down pretty quickly this evening. I've got a dog walk with Cooper planned by 8 o'clock. There you go. And I think Haja has a sushi day, so she can get out there and have some enjoyment there for dinner with some sushi. For us, we're watching our severe weather outlook here, latest from the Storm Prediction Center. Okay, so if anything, they scooted the marginal risk maybe a little farther east, so just maybe slightly east. What is that, Highway 1? Maybe Phillips Highway now for areas of Duval County to the west. Okay, so that's good, nice and specific, like we like it here. But notice, if you're up in Georgia, it's going to be tougher. Folkestone, Waycross, I see your better chances really tomorrow afternoon. Really, I-10 south is the area I'm really watching carefully. Once you get toward areas of Baker, southern Baker County, Union, Bradford County, Clay, and Putnam County there. Let's keep our guard up, keep our weather apps going. We take a look at the 7-day forecast, Jacksonville, and there it is. Weather impact alert in effect for Sunday afternoon, Monday afternoon. There's the high rain risk there. Watching the squally weather and those rain bands, not your typical rain bands, right? They're feeding right into a developing tropical storm. Tuesday, still a day to watch. We said there's a question mark for Tampa. Maybe they could issue another weather impact alert, at least to start. For us, I still think we will have much more in the way of isolated storms. So we'll have fewer storms around. We'll have to watch it here as well. We just gave you the speed, that forward speed of the developing tropical storm that's, 2-3 miles per hour. So, yes, so we'll continue to watch that in its track. And we're getting more data in from the National Hurricane Center and, of course, the hurricane hunters that are out there right now. And that'll help fine-tune this. But, again, to start the week, keep your guard up for the heaviest rain. And then look what we have here. So 96 Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe even some heat advisories, lower chances of rain. And then we'll watch a little interesting setup again. We're going to have a big plume of moisture move our way by next weekend. So we up the rain chance to 60% on Saturday. And we'll have to watch that. Now we take a look at another perspective of this developing storm here. If you're just joining us, we're streaming here till 2:30. And we're covering both coasts here because big system, big impacts across the state. We got friends and family from Jacksonville to Orlando, Tampa, a lot of travelers this time of year. It's summer. And, the tropics are waking up. We want everybody to be safe here in Florida. And if you're from out of town, welcome to our beautiful state. I mean, we take a look at, we're looking for beach time, right? It's going to be tough to find some beach time, especially toward Tampa and the West Coast to start this week. Here in Jacksonville, we're picking our spots where we get that beach time in before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But let's take a look at what's going on. We've got a tropical depression, but watch what happens. See how those isobars start to tighten up? Let's watch this. This is tonight and tomorrow. You see the bands of rain coming in from Jacksonville to Tampa. There it is. Yeah, it's really starting to organize. As we go into Monday morning, there's the rain for the west coast of Florida. I'm watching Pinellas and Pasco County there and Manatee County. Okay, all right, we got that all set. And then as we go through the day tomorrow, let's just keep this going. There's the storms in Jacksonville in the afternoon and then really starting to wind up. The problem is the slow movement over the very warm Gulf and not seeing much wind shear based on the latest models coming in. So this is why we're confident on our big three that we're looking for at least maybe a strong tropical storm or then some. All right, we're still getting some data in from the hurricane hunters. So this will be interesting to see how fast this ramps up. So what it will do is it'll spin in some drier weather, though, for Florida as we head in. If you're here from out of town looking for better beach weather, Tuesday would be your day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And much of the week does look like great weather for the pool and beach for us from Tampa to Orlando to Jacksonville as this thing continues to move what will be Bertha to the west and away from the first coast. Boy, really winding up there. That's just northern Gulf Coast, right near New Orleans, and continuing to move to the west. All right, we take a look at the wind shear, and this is the reason why this could become maybe even a hurricane. All right, we'll watch it. There's not much wind shear, so what we look for as meteorologists is calm weather in the upper levels, something that will allow these tropical entities to organize. And you can see the outflow with this, just not much wind shear. It's going to stay on the low side as we go through Monday, Tuesday, and much of the week there. And that's why this thing, if it does head west, likely not encountering much wind shear until late this week, okay? So if it's still barely moving and moving slowly, yeah, I can't rule out a strong tropical storm or even a hurricane at this point. So here's another look. This is our in-house model. This this really gives you another perspective of the wind field. And what we look for is organization here. So remember, as we started the show, we said we're looking for how this organizes, and you're seeing plenty of organization there. That looks like maybe a Cat 1 as we go into late Tuesday into Wednesday. So that's Wednesday at 2 p.m. to be specific there. One thing to note here from the First Coast to Tampa, we will be drier, hotter, and this will wrap in some drier air. But if you're heading to the west and you're traveling this week, not the best of weather, right? So another reason to keep streaming with us, checking back in with us. And of course, we're checking on your family. We'll have the tower cams going up to Katrina. You'll be ready. We'll keep checking on our friends out toward New Orleans, Louisiana, and really the threat level goes all the way to Texas. So if you're just joining us, we've got Tropical Depression 2. I want to welcome everybody. Bertha likely to form over the next 12 to 24 hours. We looked at all the models, and we keep looking at them carefully, and yeah, the one that has it moving up toward the Big Bend, we can pretty much throw out, and that's not going to happen. And you see the consensus very strong that it's heading to the west. Will it stay out over the Gulf a little longer? That means it'll be a little stronger, all right? And we saw that in-house graph model showing this system not just as a tropical storm, but as a possible hurricane, because it's saying it's going to stay out over the Gulf. So there's a lot of questions left unanswered. Another reason we got the hurricane hunters checking it out. Expected rainfall. I like this map showing the big swirling dervish in the Gulf. Zooming in, we showed you some specific rainfall totals for Pinellas and Pasco County, coming in with another 3 to 6 inches possible as we go into the next couple of days. And here in Jacksonville, we're watching this squally weather. Anytime you got the blues and purples, we've got to watch it. These are just averages. Usually models underdo tropical activity and moisture and rainfall amounts, so keep that in mind. But boy, look at that plume of just the yellows, just the deep tropical low really forming there, and our tropical storm as it develops here over the next couple of days. So we're going to be watching for the banding of rain for both here and in Tampa the next couple of days. In fact, for our friends here and in Jacksonville, this is one of their faves here. So for my friends and family here in Jacksonville, we got your special 10-day forecast, and we're saying we're going to get a break most of the week. I know we only have a couple weeks left of summer vacation before the kids get back in. It's hard to believe. So we will get in that beach and pool time. But late week, as we go into next weekend and the following week, maybe another low pressure here developing in the Gulf. So all in all here, looking pretty quiet around Jacksonville. In fact, Katrina, if you want to call it a tower cam, let's take a look. Maybe a little fishing. Some folks trying to do a little fishing here, but this would be a time to actually, start bringing the boats in. So if you got a friend out there we go. Yeah, see the building clouds. This is what the big concern for storms in Jacksonville this afternoon would be as we head toward especially 5, 6, 7 o'clock. So you're already starting to see the building clouds to the south. The counties to watch for the best chance of this squall line, and that's why we have the weather impact alert for Jacksonville here, would be for areas of Putnam County, Flagler County, up into St. Johns County, southern Duval County, trying to be real specific, Clay County, you're in there, southern Baker, Union, Bradford County, and even Columbia County for sure. And the farther north you get, once you get north of downtown here in Jacksonville, I do think that we're going to start to see conditions not quite as bad. There's not as much moisture moving through, but that's a great shot, Katrina, showing building clouds here in Jacksonville and why we've got the weather impact alert with some strong thunderstorms likely. So as we look around the state one more time, we're going to come back here. We'll do a quick tour. I think we got another 5 minutes. So if you're just joining us, let's round it up. Here we go. Tropical Depression 2. We've got winds of 30 miles per hour. Pressure 1,011. The hurricane hunters, they're in there because this thing could ramp up not just as a strong tropical storm by tomorrow, but look at that. Winds of 60 miles per hour Wednesday to 8 a.m. We're talking about maybe higher than that. Okay, if it slows down and stays a little farther south and then just skimming the northern Gulf and heading toward Texas by late week. And I showed you there's just not much wind shear to work with. Here's the deal now as we're looking at the impacts here around the state. We are going to see the biggest impacts toward the west coast as expected, but not letting our guard down here on the first coast. We take a look at the tropical storm watches officially from right around the Big Bend to Panama City, Pensacola. Our headlines, Bertha will be forming in the northern Gulf. The first coast stays on the eastern fringe of the system. but enough where we do have weather impact alerts the next couple of afternoons, and also the higher impacts for Tampa and the Panhandle. In fact, Tampa, the impact alerts really go into effect once again first thing tomorrow morning after another active afternoon and evening, especially along the I-75 corridor. So you look at the big picture, watching 2 feeder bands heading around the state right now, one on the west coast toward Hillsborough County, watching areas of Bradenton, Manatee, Sarasota counties, and out toward areas of Polk County, Orange County. That line inland, that's going to be the one swinging up and toward the Jacksonville area. So those are the 2 lines that could become severe this afternoon. Already starting to see some lightning increase. So for the Tampa impacts, tropical downpours, could see a gusty storm or 2. Can't leave that out, along with the flood threat. So make sure you keep streaming with us here on First Coast News Plus and 10 Tampa Bay Plus. And we got today and tomorrow for Tampa with the biggest impacts, but that's a big impact range, right? 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. there, really showing the heaviest rain, okay? So tomorrow, join Courtney in the morning. That 7 a.m. may need to be moved up because there's going to be rain as you wake up. We take a look at the high-res futurecast. We're talking rain along Pinellas County, getting a little break the rest of today and tonight, and then tonight things change for my Aunt Joy and Clearwater Beach up to areas of Tarpon Springs, Newport Richey, Whitney. Get out the umbrellas. We're talking about downpours as you wake up at 5 a.m. That's going to be a tough commute. Oh boy, yeah, Bradenton, Apollo Beach, back to Lakeland there as the rain fills in. So really your highest weather impacts for flooding today, really for Hillsborough County west, but still watching it here, even at home, right? Still watching the I-95 corridor because we still have these bands coming up and around, these feeder bands feeding into the storm, including Duval. For Tampa, these are just averages. This is good. This is just updated. And we said a lot of times you can double these numbers. So we said maybe another 3 to 6 inches. Hopefully this is a little better, where we keep it in the 2 to 4 inch range, especially from areas of St. Pete, right along Manatee County, Bradenton, Sarasota, to the north toward Crystal River. That'll be the heaviest rain. So if we average that out, it's an average of 1 to 2.5 inches. So that's possibly another 2 to 4 inches on average for the most part. Can't rule out localized heavier amounts, but it was nice to see that model update for rain amounts not quite as crazy as I showed you earlier. We take a look at the Tampa 7-day forecast, weather impact alerts the next 2 days. Still watching Tuesday, some question marks, just another reason to check back. And then for here in Jacksonville, we're watching that rain band swing to the north this afternoon. In fact, we'll take one more look at that, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. There it is. So we'll watch that. We'll see if it fills in. We'll see if it intensifies. A lot of models have it swinging northward and becoming stronger. So that's why we have the weather impact alert for possible, not just those tropical downpours, but maybe some downed trees and winds of 40 to 60 miles per hour. So we're going to stay weather aware, have that indoor backup plan. We know that Bertha, a tropical storm likely to form over the next day or 2, is heading west and away from Florida. But as we all know, we don't focus on that cone. We focus on the impacts, and we'll have those here on the First Coast. Here's the latest high-res futurecast. We'll see if this is a little better. I'm still showing some stronger storms moving through as we head between 5 and about 7:30 as that line really swings in. So that's why we'll be here. We'll be streaming. We got Lee Southwick. She's got you covered through the late afternoon and the evening as always, and she'll be here for you if things get a little crazy out there. And I do expect a couple strong storms. A lightning, tropical downpours, wind gusts of 40 to 60. We're in a marginal risk. The Storm Prediction Center with the very latest here showing the highest severe risk from I-95 to I-75. And Katrina, I think we still have another 30 seconds or so, or maybe another minute and a half. You know, I could talk for hours. So here's our 7-day forecast for Jacksonville. Weather impact alert. There it is. Good chances of rain. Today, your heaviest rain south of I-10. Tomorrow, if you're in southeast Georgia, and I know we need the rain, tomorrow would be your day where we would see a better chance of at least some storms on the increase for more of us. So technically, maybe you could even up that rain chance a little bit tomorrow to 70%. Tuesday, I do think, even though we have question marks in Tampa for the weather impact alert, I think we can lift it officially for Jacksonville. And then we'll focus on the heat and possibly some heat advisories as we really heat up into the middle 90s. One more look at why we're talking Bertha developing. Right now, a tropical depression. You can see better organization. Lots of banding. You can see the heavy bands and squally weather from Tampa to Jacksonville the next couple of afternoons, and then really winding up over that warm, shallow Gulf water as we head into the week, as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday especially. All right, so keep checking back with us. We'll keep streaming with you. Stay safe, my friends, from Jacksonville to Tampa. We appreciate you.